A lot of people get to a stage where they're comfortable with their campaign management style, and they're learning how to test, and they have campaigns, and maybe they're profitable and they're doing decent, but they just don't know how to take it to the next level. There's a lot of barriers that you start to hit when you try and scale on Facebook, and I think a big part of that is most people think, okay, I'll just push budgets up. If something's working, I'll just scale it. But there's a lot more to it than that, and so we kind of uncover a lot of the strategies that we use to get around those barriers and let you guys kind of push past those spend limits that you tend to hit when you're trying to scale.
Hello and welcome to All Killer, No Filler. I'm Eric Dick. It is Thursday, and today we are checking back in with the final installment of our preview series of Scale School Facebook and Instagram ads. Today's lesson features some of the steps that Pilothouse goes through when it comes to our pixel strategy, our audience structure, as well as how we triangulate and track all of our conversions across Facebook and their new server-to-server system, CAPI, as well as Google Analytics. And then Nate's going to drop in with his take on scale. Now, Nate has been scaling for Pilothouse for years. One of our lead senior employees scaled millions and millions of dollars across multiple accounts. And he's sharing his strategy for both horizontal and vertical scaling. He's going to talk about surfing, as well as some other fun things for how to basically maximize your campaigns once you've created some winners, built out the proper campaign structure that we've sort of advocated for in the previous lessons that we talked about on this Scale School preview. Nate comes in and teaches us really how to scale things to the moon. Next week, we'll be back with an all new, all killer, no filler. We're just finalizing the topics for the next run now. But if there's anything that you want to see on All Killer No Filler or any other kinds of podcasts you'd like to see, drop me a line at eric@directtoconsumer.co. As always, you can subscribe to our newsletter at directtoconsumer.co. And if you're interested in Scale School, we're still actually running our Black Friday sale. And you can go to learn.directtoconsumer.co/scale-school-sale. And you can still get 50% off on Scale School throughout the end of the year. If you go through that link, you also get a package that includes the rest of our courses, as well as a sweet D2C Ebbets Field flannel hat. Those will ship out very quickly in the new year. So if you're interested in any of that, you can go to learn.directtoconsumer.co/scale-school-sale. I hope you enjoy this podcast, and on with the show. Banking for online business owners can be a pain. Fees, minimum balance requirements, inability to connect with payment processors, slow international payments, and more fees. Did we mention the fees? Mercury is banking built for e-commerce. With Mercury, you can get an FDIC-insured U.S. business bank account in less than 10 minutes, create virtual debit cards instantly, send domestic and international wires, and connect with your payment processors' platforms and accounting software seamlessly. Plus, no account opening fees, wire transfer fees, or minimum balance requirements. It's banking for D2C founders. Try Mercury and upgrade your business banking today. Click the link in the description to sign up. So what are the main things that students of Scale School are going to take out of your video content?
Well, we're gonna focus in a lot on pixel strategy, which is obviously super important these days post iOS 14.5. Making sure you have your events firing in the correct spots, making sure CAPI, the conversions API, is set up correctly, super important right now. With Shopify, it's pretty easy actually. It's like an integration, so we'll take you through all that. We'll make sure that your audiences are building in the right way, and then the final thing really is putting together that other data sources, not just relying on Facebook. So GA, server-to-server solutions. We'll take you through all that.
Nice. Just to dig in a little bit on CAPI, what exactly is CAPI?
So it's Facebook's solution to server-to-server tracking, not relying so much on just the events, browser events that aren't going to fire. You're missing out on a lot of people's data from iOS 14.5, obviously. CAPI's a way to ensure you get some of that data back. And yeah, obviously super important. You're gonna see more purchase events showing in your ads manager. You're gonna see more add to carts. You're gonna see all that once CAPI's set up.
Nice. One thing we know that media buyers struggle with is how to behave when your campaigns are having a very bad day, when you're seeing very poor results. I know the initial result often is to cut bait, pause your ads. What's your philosophy when it comes to spending on days where you're having bad results?
Yeah, I mean, you can't freak out now. Day to day is a little less important now than it used to be. You need to look back at your 5, your 7-day windows, even 14 days, again, because data is being lost and you have delayed data. So don't panic, look day to day, make the odd pause if you need to, scale back budgets a bit, but make sure you're coordinating that again with your other data sources, your CAPI events, everything that's firing back into Ads Manager.
So keep calm and profit on.
Yeah. And don't be afraid to reduce budgets a little bit if something is not doing well. But
got it.
Keep calm. So we're going to take you through what to do in that situation when performance isn't great, different situations and how to handle them.
Okay, so in our previous units, we have put together our top performing creatives through this rigorous method that we've all learned. We've put together our winning audiences. We have the foundations for scale. Where are you going to go with us after that?
Yeah, I mean, that's when you really start to get in the weeds and start to, find the next level strategies that are going to bring you beyond that floor. So we're going to take people through that. Different funnel strategies, testing ads right to checkout versus ads to a pre-sell, to a collections page to checkout, split testing all that, ensuring you're iterating on your winning creative angles and working those into your, evergreen solidified campaigns. We'll run you through all that. Lots of stuff. So
very cool. How much would you estimate that you've actually spent on Facebook and Instagram ads?
Man, off the top of my head, at least $20 million probably. I don't know. I'd have to look into that.
And so these lessons that are going to be taught have been forged in the fires of, let's call it $20 million.
Oh yeah, proven lessons. They're always changing, but we're going to give you those foundations that'll definitely help.
As we've built out this system for scale, there's a lot of people that don't have access to what we're doing. What would you think are people's media buyers' pain points if they don't know the pilothouse system for scale? Like, what are some major pain points that you think media buyers might experience not knowing the stuff that's in this lesson?
Yeah, I mean, a lot of people will get to a certain point and they might be seeing some performance that's close to, their KPIs, but it's just not quite getting them there. And I think that's kind of where the extra layer of knowledge comes from, and this course will touch on all of that. So nice. I think in terms of specifics, I think a lot of it has to do with the funnels, iterating on things, not being afraid to try new strategies. And you're gonna have your solidified campaigns, but you need to do stuff outside of that. So
nice. And to have the systems then to test effectively, to make sure you're not wasting money while you're testing.
Yeah, tools are super important, systems, teams, everything it plays it.
Overall, how important are landing pages, would you say, to the pilothouse system?
Pretty important for sure. Pretty much every client, we have some part in their landing pages, whether it's a pre-sell, advertorial, or even just working on their collections and products, pages on Shopify. Super important. That's how you get your EPCs up beyond just your, ads, is that back end and optimizing pages.
Totally.
Yeah.
Hey retailers, ever feel like your shopper experience feels just like everyone else's? That's probably because it does, and it shouldn't. Bluecore matches online shoppers with the products they'll buy next across channels like email, on-site, paid media, social, and SMS. With Bluecore's retail data and predictive intelligence, brands automate personalized content, offers, and recommendations for each individual shopper, enabling brands like Noble to increase conversions by 15% and drive a 46% increase in repeat buyers. Visit Bluecore.com to discover why brands like Noble, Express, and Bliss chose Bluecore to automate and scale their multi-channel personalization. Welcome to module number 4, Strategies for Scale. We're here with a Pilothouse lead media buyer to discuss this exact topic. Could you just tell us why this particular module is so essential to the entire Pilothouse system?
Fundamentally, this is basically just how you're going to learn to scale. This is what's going to take your campaigns from, step 1 to step 3. So this is a big part of it.
So what exactly are people going to learn in this module?
Basically, people are going to learn the strategies that we use on a daily basis to scale our campaigns, from that first stage to the next.
So in the previous units, people will have, established their winning creatives, established their winning audiences. Just go a little bit deeper. Once you have these things, what are you putting in place in order to really scale campaigns?
Yeah, so we basically break it down into multiple steps and strategies to scale your campaigns, from vertical scaling, horizontal scaling, the different features on Facebook that you can use and leverage to, scale your campaigns from, maybe 50 grand spend a month to $1 million spend a month.
What are some examples that we've sort of, examples where we've used this particular method, and what are some of the results that we've seen in terms of scaling?
Yeah, we've over the years we've taken some brands from honestly doing $50,000 a month on their Shopify stores to now doing well over $1 million a month. Other brands where we've taken them from spending maybe 100 grand a month to spending well over $1 million a month. So we've definitely got some testament to it.
And how much of what you're going to be teaching has literally, that you have developed from spending all this? Are these all a lot of your methods particularly?
I would say it's a combination of my own and then the rest of the team as well. We're always collaborating, sharing ideas across the team. And so there's a lot from a lot of different people in this. It's not just one person's ideas, which I think is so key.
Nice. And then, if you're speaking to the media buyers in the audience thinking about taking this course, what are some of the pain points you think they experience that this module might help alleviate?
I think a lot of people get to a stage where they're comfortable with their campaign management style, and they're learning how to test, and they have campaigns, and maybe they're profitable and they're doing decent, but they just don't know how to take it to the next level. There's a lot of barriers that you start to hit when you try and scale on Facebook, and I think a big part of that is most people think, okay, I'll just push budgets up. If something's working, I'll just scale it. But there's a lot more to it than that, and so we kind of uncover a lot of the strategies that we use to get around those barriers and let you guys kind of push past those spend limits that you tend to hit when you're trying to scale.
Let's talk a little bit about iOS 14.5. This is something on the mind of every media buyer out there. What do you think that's in this unit that sort of helps people alleviate the worries of iOS 14.5?
Yeah, it's a big one and a lot to unpack. I think we try to dive into it as best we can and kind of explain the methods that we're using to not only optimize and scale on platform, but bring in tools outside of Facebook that allow us to see the data more clearly and kind of continue on the path that we were prior to iOS. So we really want to try and dive in deep and not just give you guys an understanding of on platform what we've been doing over the past couple of years, but actually how things have shifted over the past few months and what to do to get past that.
We look at this course as a journey. We want people to come in and be able to kind of go through all the modules. What would you say is the journey of Module 4 here specifically? What is someone who takes Module 4 going to feel like after?
I think they're going to feel a lot more confident in pushing budgets up. You become timid when you've got that baseline of solid campaigns and maybe you're running profitably, and you start to scale and you start to see decreased margins and your costs rising. It's very tough to get past that, and it takes a toll, and it definitely lessens your confidence. So I think they're going to come out of this with a lot more confidence in how to scale past those barriers, just using these strategies that we're going to outline.
I love that, and I think confidence in scaling is really what we're trying to achieve here. I think when you're spending your money and you've got these big budgets, we know that we've lost some data with the iOS 14.5. So retaining that ability to spend into lack of clarity appears to be one of the most important things that people get out of this.
Totally, yeah, and ideally getting a little bit more clarity into that data as well.
Nice. People in the audience, maybe they've taken a lot of courses before. What do you think is going to be different about your module in this course than maybe other ways people have learned Facebook ads?
Yeah, I mean, the biggest thing is probably that I'm actually going to be kind of running you guys through exactly what I do on a daily basis, not only in a slideshow or anything like that. I'm actually going to show you some Facebook ad accounts that I'm currently running and kind of break down what it is that I'm doing on a daily basis, how I'm managing these campaigns, how I'm scaling them, and all those strategies kind of in motion while I'm doing it.
As we always say, show, don't tell. And I
Exactly.
think that's what this course aims to do.
Yeah.
And then finally, one of the most important pieces of scaling is obviously your creative, and the kind of creative that we're finding the most success with right now is often influencer creative. Can you talk a little bit about how important influencer marketing is in the process of scale?
Totally, yeah. It's definitely not even just influencer creative either. There's a lot more to it. Dark posting, whitelisting, influencer collabs, all that kind of stuff. And so to me, it's very important because a few of the brands I work with have very big influencer programs, and we leverage that in our paid efforts as well. To the point where we've got some brands spending 50% of their total marketing budgets or more on influencer collabs and influencer dark posting, influencer paid media. So there's a lot there, and it's definitely crucial to a lot of the brands we work with.
Who can these methods work for specifically in the audience?
Honestly, everybody. We'll kind of take you guys through, if you've got limited budgets or you've got, massive budgets, take you through kind of the different types of influencers you want to use, the different strategies to go with for those budgets and those sizes of influencers. So I think there's definitely something for everybody in there.
Cool. Thanks so much for listening to today's episode. If you're not a subscriber to our newsletter, you can do that right now at direct-to-consumer, all one word, .co. I'm Eric Dick, and this has been the D2C Podcast. We'll see you next time.